Hey guys, it's Eclipse here and welcome to today's World of Tanks console video. We are going to go through all of the update news for World of Tanks. We're also going to go through all of the operations that are coming tomorrow as of the recording of this video, and if you're watching it tomorrow or beyond that, then yeah, it will already be in the game. So we've got a lot of information to cover, we've got a lot of operations, a lot of free tanks, we've also got some news articles to go through, well, primarily all of the news articles to go through. It's going to be a fairly long one in today's video, and we're also going to try and give my own opinion as to some of the things going on with World of Tanks console or modern armor or whatever you want to call this video, then yeah. So first things first, obviously we've got a new Mercenary tank coming out onto World of Tanks. That is the Deadbolt. So this is a tier 5, it's not particularly too amazing. You've got this kind of toy tank looking hull armor of the tank, and it's also got this it's a fairly decent turret. Let's not beat around the bush. It's got this kind of Covenanter looking turret, and then it's got this longer barrel. This tank is fairly okay. It's not particularly the worst one in the game, but it does have decent DPM and accuracy and gun depression. However, you're probably not going to be bouncing very much considering the hull and also the turret. It may have a little bit of spaced armor on the sides, but yeah, you probably won't be dealing much damage or taking too much block damage in this tank. So there you go. It's available for 1 month or just under, I think it's about 3 weeks. This tank will be available for you to be able to pick up. So make sure that you jump on. The actual operation itself will basically be in the same form as the previous ones with the big top event, where you have to get to task 8.1. You basically earn some XP and you have a variety of other tasks that you complete. You get premium time as well and boosters and stuff along the way to be able to get this tank. You get premium consumables and standard consumables and silver and stuff like that throughout as well. And you can see some of these tasks, some of them, each stage basically, because there's 8 stages, will give you some extra rewards. So that will be medkit, silver, XP boosters, premium time, stuff like that. And then you have basically the earn XP version of it being the last task, which is 2.3. That is just basically the standard that you have to do. Every single task will have one task that requires you to get a certain amount of XP. Overall, you're probably looking for the Deadbolt task of approximately maybe 150,000 XP that you have to get overall with all of the tasks combined. So it's not too bad for 3 weeks of game time. You know, that's not looking too bad. 50,000 overall XP every week. Yeah, I think that's fairly doable for the majority of players who pop on the game pretty casually. As far as the other tanks that you can pick up, well, we have the Great Tank Pursuit, which is back in World of Tanks. Now, as with before, it lasts 42 days and you have to log on 35 times over the course of them weeks within the game in order to complete all of the operations within it. Now, what tanks can you actually receive? Well, we've got the Tier 4 MTLS 1G14 and we've got the German Tier 8 VK16801, which is the Mauer Breaker for some of you that don't know. It is the non-skinned version. Yeah, it's not particularly the best tank in the game, but it did get some buffs recently with its armor model, and this cupola I think got buffed a little bit. So it's in a better state than it was. And then the Tier 9 Premium tank in the form of the AE Phase 1 Heavy tank, which, of course, for those of you who completed the season a while back, you could have already got this tank. And if you already receive or already have each of these tanks, you will receive the silver version, or the silver equivalent, I should say, even, of each tank. And so you'll get probably, if we had every single tank here, you're probably looking at about 10 million silver in total, which is nice. It's a nice benefit for literally just hopping on every day. Now, how does the operation actually work? Well, you have to complete some daily battles, and in terms of being able to do it, you have to earn 250 XP or more in 3 battles. So essentially, just play 3 battles. What are the rewards that you can get? Well, each day you have the possibility of being able to get one of each of these rewards. So you could either get a emblem, another emblem, a few emblems. We've got then potentially getting 1 day of premium. You've got potential to get some premium consumables and also standard consumables in bundles of 5. And then you've also got the opportunity to get 50k silver as well. This resets daily, so it's only available once per day, so you have to get 35 in total to be able to get the rewards. As far as what the actual rewards are throughout the kind of stages that you can complete, which there are a few, as you can see. The first one being day 5 reward gives you times 5 free XP boosters, which you get 10 of them. Day 10 gives you an advanced loader equipment voucher, so you can actually get equipment vouchers now, which is something brand new, I think. I don't think we've ever actually got that. That means you can put on an advanced loader onto your tank for free, so it won't cost you the 500,000 silver that it usually does at tier 10. I think it scales now, actually, with some of the lower tier tanks being able to put on equipment for cheaper. Day 15, you get some camo vouchers, which, that's nothing particularly too interesting, but there we go. Saves you on silver and gold as well if you purchase premium, camo for actual gold. Then for day 20, you get the 3D commander, which is just a standard commander, so you earn the exact same as any other commander in the game. So I guess, maybe that's decent, but nothing too special. Day 25, you get the tier 4 MTLS, which is the tier 4. Yes, it's probably broken in the game, but is it really worth playing tier 4? Well, probably, in my opinion, no, not really. Then day 30, we get the tier 8 premium tank in the VK16801P, which is nice. You have to log on 30 days in a row, or not in a row, but actually 30 days within the 42-day period. And then, of course, day 35 gives you the AE Phase 1, the Tier 9 heavy tank, which is actually quite nice in game. It's got decent armor. You can bounce some shots. Definitely a tank that isn't awful in the game, and it can perform pretty well within the matchup. And in terms of the silver, yes, I did say 10 million, but overall you'll actually be probably netting, 12.1 million silver if you own all of them, 7 million for the AE Phase 1, 4.6 million for the VK, and 500,000 for the MTLS if you already have them. You simply have to complete daily battles 35 out of 40 times to be able to complete this operation. What do you guys think of this operation? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you like the whole logging on once a day for 35 out of the 42 days? I personally don't like them so much. I'd rather that they just put in these big operations that just are permanent, but maybe make them slightly harder to achieve. But you can do it at your own pace. If you want to play a lot, then you can get it done faster. If you don't want to play it any more and you want to take it gradual, then it takes you longer, but you can do it regardless of where you are and time limited event within the game. So that's kind of my view on it, but of course you all have your own opinions, and let me know in the comments. As far as some other ones, we have the September challenge, and this is the biggest one, I think, for you guys. You can get your hands on a tier 10 premium tank, and not just any tier 10 premium tank, probably the most overpowered / one of the better tier 10 heavy tanks within World of Tanks console. Of course, it is the T95 FV4201 Super Chieftain, which is basically just an upgraded Chieftain. It has a near impenetrable turret armor. Its frontal armor is actually pretty decent as well, so it's kind of an all-rounder. It's better than the Chieftain that you can get in the standard tech tree, so that pretty much sums up it. It's very, very nice in game. How will you actually complete this? It's very much like the Object 268 version 5 operation that we've recently got, where you have to get a set amount of points overall. In terms of being able to get those points, you have to get in total 400 points, which is the exact same. In order to get the points, you have to basically win, not win, but actually just place as the top XP earner on your team to get 3 points, place 2nd to 4th to be able to get 2 points, and place 5th to 7th to be able to get 1 point. Of course, if you get the higher you get, the more points you get, and the maximum you can earn in one battle is 3 points. Now, along with that, you also have the ability, I think, sometimes each day you can be able to get multiple. So I'm not entirely sure whether or not they have like a bonus operation each day, but it doesn't appear that they do. In terms of what you can actually get with the challenge, other than the tank itself, you can get discounts on the tank if you don't manage to complete it all, and if you have the silver, you can get extra silver as well with it. You can get premium consumables. You also get a variety of other things with it as well. In terms of whether or not it's an actual worth your time, then 100%. It allows you to get the free premium basically, and it's definitely worth it overall. As with the next news article, well, you have the Char Futur 4, which is the new tier 8 premium or tier 9 premium French tank, which is actually really, really good in game. I don't know if it's going to be that much better than the heavy tank in the AMX 5120, but I guess we'll have to see in game when it actually comes out on launch. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on it to give it a go and show you exactly how it works in game and give my ideas as to whether you should pick it up. Of course, it is going to be fairly costly. If you want to check out the tank statistics, then you can do that here. These are the statistics of the tank that will be coming into the game. And of course, these are the bundles that you can pick it up in. The first one comes with standard 3D commanders and stuff like that. 19,200 gold, which is very expensive, and it comes with premium account time, rations, stuff like that. All of that is interesting. And then the second one, of course, you can then wait 1 week to be able to get it cheaper, which will cost you 8,000 gold, which is still a lot, and it comes with the 3D commanders. And then if you wait a further week, you'll be able to pick it up just the tank on its own for 17,880 gold. Coming on to the final bit of the video, of course, it is the on-track event to the Type 5, coming alongside the reforged, balance updated tanks of the Type 5 Heavy line. This one will be running for 2 weeks, so you'll be able to get your hands on the Tier 10 Type 5 Heavy. If you haven't already, you basically get increases to the XP and the silver that you earn with these tanks. You can get 25% bonus XP on every single tank in the entire line, and you also get a 50% silver discount between tiers 3 and 6 and 30% silver discount between tiers 7 and 10. So that's always really nice. You're going to be able to get there a hell of a lot faster and a hell of a lot cheaper than usual. And of course, if you haven't actually picked up any of these tanks because you didn't have enough silver, the 30% discount will be nice to pick up a tank that maybe you didn't already have, or one that you really enjoyed and maybe you had to sell it at the time to be able to get another tank in the line. So there we go. That is the discounts. As far as the balance updates themselves, the Type 5 heavy tank has actually got quite a different in what it's going to be playing like in game. Basically, new engine on the tank means that it can turn faster. It's going to be able to get up to top speed more consistently. It's going to be able to keep that top speed more consistently. It has better armor on the front, has better armor on the upper hull corners. So, you know, the weak point of the tank as to when it angles, they're now 270 millimeters of armor, meaning that some of the premium rounds from tier 8, they're going to very much struggle with the front of the Type 5 Heavy now. The reload has been nerfed on, or buffed actually, on the 140mm gun, which means that it's now down from 17.7 to 17.1. The shot dispersion and the premium ammunition shell penetration have also been buffed, which means that you're going to be more accurate and you can deal your damage more consistently with the premium shells in the tank. Probably the most controversial change with the Type 5 Heavy is the 150mm gun, the biggest one on the tank, the kind of derp gun as it's called, has now become a hell of a lot more accurate. It's now 0.45 accuracy, down from 0.5, so that's a 10% increase to accuracy overall. You've also then got a buff to its damage by probably, 20%, which is massive. So now you'll be dealing 20% more damage, you're 10% more accurate, and you've also then got a turret rotation shot dispersion that's been buffed by 10% essentially. So yeah, you're going to be a hell of a lot more accurate both on the move and whilst turning the turret, and also after your shot has been fired, then the shot dispersion will also decrease. Premium shell penetration has gone up as well from 264 to 330, which is a massive change. No longer will you be bouncing pretty much with your heat rounds in this tank. However, I would never recommend firing heat because your HE damage with 1300 alpha will basically be dealing 500 damage to the front of a mouse tank, because that's exactly how HE works. Especially with such a high caliber gun. Trust me, you do not want to be firing premium with this tank. It is 100% worth it to fire the HE rounds, 1300. And if you manage to pen, that's 1300 damage definitely to any of the lighter armored tanks. If you hit a light tank there, that's pretty much them done. If you hit a medium tank in a weak point, that's them done. You get 90mm of penetration with your HE rounds, which is more than enough for a lot of the tanks. It might even be 85mm, even if I am correcting myself there. But yeah, that's more than enough for most of the medium tanks, things like the Leopard 1, if you hit the lower plate and if you aim for the weak points, and you may even be able to just go through the upper plate. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, you can work that out in your own head and test it out in the game if you already have the tank. But trust me, the Type 5 Heavy is no kind of weak point on your team anymore. It is definitely one of the stronger tanks within the game, and trust me, the 200 extra damage means a hell of a lot for this tank, and it's kind of like the heavy version of the FE215B183 within the game. Japanese tier 9, the Type 4 has also got buffs. Of course, if you want to check them out, I won't go through them all in too much detail, but here you go. They've basically buffed the same sort of things on the 150mm gun. They both share the same one, so you'll be able to use this against things like Tigers. Yeah, that's going to become very nasty for the opponents that you're coming up against. Same with the OHO, they've basically buffed the armor and the accuracy and things like that on the variety of different guns. The ONI as well has got buffs. The OI hasn't got any buffs, it's literally just the exact same. And the OI experimental, probably one of the more controversial ones, being the fact that this has a ridiculous gun. If you use the 130, or the biggest gun on this even, it's now got armor, so no longer is it just an auto aim and pen with any tier 5 and tier 6 in the game. Yeah, you kind of actually have to aim for the weak points instead of just, auto aiming and penning every time. And it's going to be able to hit you for 350 alpha damage using the heat rounds of the tank with its big derp gun that it can put on it. Definitely a tank to be looking for in tier 5 and tier 6 games when you're coming up against it. Anyway, other than that, that is literally everything for the news coming out so far. Of course, there'll be another video tomorrow looking at the news as of when the update drops, and hopefully that is everything for today. If you want to leave any comments, any questions, anything that you have regarding World of Tanks console, whether that be related to this video or not, then leave those down below, and of course, let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching, and thank you to all of the channel members as well, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.